There doesn't seem to be an outlet for new local multiplayer games so much because they're very much about community and they're very much about public spaces. I'm trying to kind of foster this local New York-based community around that. My name is Mark Kleback, and I run a local New York-based indie arcade collective called Death by Audio Arcades. As of 2016, we have about 13 custom-made cabinets. I think a lot of our games do well when you're playing them with a couple friends. My target is to put a game in a community space and have people come together and play it. So games that are super quick, there's rounds maybe, super competitive and fast. When I was a kid, I would go out to a mini golf course or a roller rink, and there was the arcade, and you would hang out in the arcade with your friends, and you'd play 4-player Simpsons or X-Men. So remembering that was a driving force behind what I wanted to do, is bring back that feeling of we're in an arcade and we're gonna have fun with our friends. The idea behind the cabinet is this indestructible thing that lives in a space, and we can walk away and 3 months later we can come back and it still works the same way. The joystick and the buttons are such a classic way of saying this is how you're gonna play this game. And you don't have to explain it to anyone. People will realize from decades of Pac-Man and Street Fighter that the joystick is how you move and the buttons are how you attack. So you can put it somewhere and walk away and people understand how to play it. I really like the design stage. Generally, we're doing classic arcade style cabinets with a nice lit marquee at the top and joysticks and buttons. But I'm not opposed to doing a weird game with different kinds of inputs. Every time I meet with developers, I try to do something a little bit differently because I feel we're improving upon the design every time we do it. So maybe I'll add in something like a flair that we never did before. A lot of people, when they think of this, they think oh, 80s nostalgia. But I'm trying to push these indie games as this is brand new. You're supporting a local artist and, we have a community around this.
So this is my game, Slam City Oracles. Slam City Oracles is kind of like if you took Grand Theft Auto and Katamari Damacy and slammed them together. And basically, you each control one player, and the main control is slamming down. So you can see when I hit this button, I go down really hard and I start to bounce all these things around. In a way, the back almost isn't it's almost a letdown. It took a while for me to really recognize that oh right, it's just a computer, right? There's no magic in these arcade cabinets, well, aside from them being kind of magical in essence. So we have the speakers, we have the amp, we have this monitor, which is super heavy, the actual computer that runs the game. We have instructions here for wherever it is. And then this cabinet, just because it's kind of my baby that I've taken around a lot, has a list of all the places that it's been. And I usually try to get someone from each venue to sign it, just as kind of like a book. I remember, because a lot of this early stuff was self-funded, being can I afford this? Can I drop money on this cabinet? I don't know. Until I realized that I grew up in arcades. Most of my favorite memories are in arcades. As a game designer, having my own arcade machine would be such an amazing, fulfilling closing of that loop.
I would love to have a space where our cabinets just lived, where we're not only showcasing the games, but we're also teaching people how to build games and how to build the cabinets. Because at the moment, we kind of make agreements with different places to put our cabinets there for a period of time. That's sort of what I would love, is to have a space with a little shop in the back, with a bar, with all of these cabinets, and start just making really crazy games, of all kinds.
Get out of here. No! All right, you win this round.